A woman found dead in a North Austin apartment complex, marking the 7th homicide this month. We'll have the latest details from Austin police, plus a look at how these numbers compare to years past.
And a program that helps train first responders could be in trouble. The work happening to make sure it keeps going.
But we are starting here in the Weather Center because you've been tracking storms for us all morning. It looks like those are finally maybe moving out of our area.
We have been waiting for this rainfall, and now it's pretty much gone for many people. Let's go and take a live look now out of our 360 cam Westlake, sponsored by Lorenz and Lorenz. This is the most current image that we have and the most cloudy image that we have overall, as the majority of spots have now started to see sunshine. Except for the eastern counties. But again, this captures at least one more area of cloud coverage just moving through. So you'll notice from Dripping Springs up to about Lampasas, Burnett, sunny skies out towards the hill country, cloudier skies out towards the eastern counties. And in fact, the eastern counties, as we're seeing some more rainfall, still moving through Bastrop, moving through downtown at this time, through Pflugerville, down towards Elroy and Lockhart. In fact, as we zoom into the downtown area, you're noticing about 360 loop. That's where we're starting to see some of the lighter to moderate showers coming through. It was raining pretty heavily out towards Lake Travis, but those rounds of showers now moving into the downtown area. Clouds and radar as we zoom out and see the amount of rainfall that's fallen. I picked out a couple of them that's seen over 2 inches of rainfall, and that includes San Saba, that includes Round Rock into Georgetown, Fredericksburg, and down towards Dripping Springs, where they saw about 1 inch of rain compared to 2 inches. But those are some of the spots that we've seen the most rainfall overall. Zoom out a bit more to see the rest of the state. Some rainfall out towards the Panhandle from Dallas down to Waco and Austin. This is the leading edge of the front right here as that moves out towards the east. Temperatures also taking a drop for pretty much everyone. 70s now out of the eastern counties as they drop down in the 50s. But Fredericksburg now with the sunshine moving back up to 71 degrees. So what are we watching? Well, the showers that are now pretty much on their way out, the sunny skies that are sticking around, and the cooler mornings that are coming soon. We'll have all that and so much more coming up in your first morning weather.
We are getting some new details from Austin police about investigations into recent homicides. The latest happened on Saturday, leaving one person dead.
This is the 7th homicide since the start of this month. Details are limited at this point, but we want to show you what we know so far. It happened on Saturday morning at about 4 off Rutland Drive, just east of Metric at the Espero apartment complex. Police say they found a woman dead there inside an apartment. We are learning more details, and we can have those for you on KXAN.com, but police say they believe there is no other risk to the public.
We have no reason to believe that this is anything but an isolated incident. We don't have any reason to believe that there's any threat to the community right now.
So far, police say there have been 62 homicides this year. The most recent happened just before this one was just a day earlier on the 15th. A person died in a shooting in North Austin.
And as Will said, we've got more details about the specific incident on our website right now. Going in depth, this year's homicide numbers are on track with last year's numbers. There were also 62 deaths at this point in the year. Last year ended with 73 homicides total. It is far below 2021, however. By this time that year, there were already 83 homicides. We do have a full breakdown of all of this information, as well as a map of where these homicides occurred over on KXAN.com too. Just click on this story.
Turning now to some international news. Russia launched its largest wave of airstrike in months, targeting Ukraine's power grid.
It comes as President Biden authorizes Ukraine to use U.S.-supplied long-range missiles to carry out attacks deep inside Russia. NBC's Keir Simmons has that story.
They were fighting yet more fires overnight, counting 11 dead, including 2 children, in just one Ukrainian city, Sumy, after a weekend that saw the largest Russian airstrike in almost 3 months, cutting off power and water to families and homes. Russia says its targets were part of the Ukrainian war effort, its rockets and drones doing the talking. as President Biden agreed to allow Ukraine to use Western long-range weapons, according to 2 U.S. officials. It's a policy shift from the United States that Ukraine had been pushing for, the Biden administration resisting until now. The decision, European officials say, was driven by the arrival of North Korean troops in Russia and by a determination to help Ukraine hold on to territory ahead of expected negotiations. President Zelensky declaring the missiles will speak for themselves. But President Putin has warned the precision rockets, including US ATACMS, would mean NATO countries directly involved in the conflict. And overnight, President Trump's son, Donald Trump Jr., writing on X, the military-industrial complex seems to want to make sure they get World War III going before my father has a chance to create peace and save lives. President-elect Trump has previously said he would end the war in Ukraine in 24 hours and pushed for an end to the fighting.
I will end the war in Ukraine.
Tomorrow will mark 1,000 days of the Ukraine war. The G7 reiterating over the weekend, Russia remains the sole obstacle to a just and lasting peace.
Keir Simmons with that story. Back here at home at a time when Central Texas needs more first responders, a program giving students firefighter and EMT certifications could disappear.
Now, earlier this month, Austin voters approved a tax rate increase for Austin ISD. It will provide millions for the district and go towards pay raises and savings. But that money may not be enough for the district's Fire Academy program. For 20 years, juniors and seniors at LBJ Early College High School have learned about how to serve their community. They work towards their certifications and get jobs in local fire and EMS departments. But the program's future remains in doubt.
School district is experiencing budgeting challenges, but we also have needs to replenish some equipment that's crucial to operating a fire academy.
The program's director says it needs about $70,000 to replace some older equipment. The director actually started a GoFundMe to raise the money, and we have a link to that at KXAN.com. The program is at LBJ Early College High School, as we said, but students from other Austin ISD high schools can also take those classes. For some added context, Austin ISD faced a $119 million deficit. With this tax rate increase passed by voters just a few weeks ago, the district says the shortfall will be reduced to $78 million. School board trustees say the district needed to make this move because they say the legislature did not raise what's called the basic allotment. That's the base amount of money the state gives districts per student. State lawmakers have not raised the basic allotment since 2019. While Austin School Board trustees worked on their budget this past summer, they considered other potential cuts, including ending the practice of busing students across town to magnet schools, getting rid of nurses, changing librarians into aides, and cutting stipends for special education and bilingual teachers. On our website right now, KXAN took a deeper look into how school districts across Central Texas got to this point with deficits and plans for a school funding fight during the next legislative session in January.
Williamson County and the city of Georgetown say homeowners should get flood insurance. A new countywide project shows homes not currently included in FEMA's floodplain map could be included in the future. FEMA last updated those maps more than 30 years ago. Williamson County is now making new maps to show a more accurate depiction of where flooding could happen.
If you're out of the floodplain right now, it's strongly encouraged for you to get flood insurance because it's going to be very cheap.
To give you an idea of those changes, the FEMA map shows about 5,000 buildings in the floodplain. The Williamson County project shows more than 11,000. Visit KXAN.com to see if your home might be affected. Going in depth now, Texas has some of the highest home insurance costs in the country. That's according to an analysis from Realtor.com. Florida leads the nation with 20% of homeowners there paying at least $4,000 a year. Louisiana came in second with 17% of its homeowners hitting that threshold. Texas and Colorado tied for third at 11%. Nationally, the average cost of home insurance in 2024 hovered at about $2,300.
One state lawmaker wants to make it more expensive if you get caught using your phone while driving. First-time offenders currently pay $25 to $99, and repeat offenders pay up to $2,000. But Republican Charles Cunningham proposed a bill to make the fine for first-timers $100 to $200 and $200 to $300 after that. Remember, the legislative session starts in January. Good morning and thanks for joining us. We are taking a live look out at Circuit of the Americas, where we see it is still real cloudy out there in some of our eastern counties. Freddie is still tracking where the rain is heading. It looks like it's leaving our area, but as you can see there, it's not quite a sunny day. So we'll keep tracking that, and Freddie will have our full forecast coming up for us in just a couple of minutes. Christmas, if you can believe it, more than a month away. It's coming up fast. But there are many groups who are collecting toys and donations to make sure that every child has a happy holiday. One of those groups here in Central Texas is the Marine Corps Reserve, who is in charge of Toys for Tots. The Austin chapter is collecting and distributing new and unwrapped toys to families in need. Organizers there say they are still in need of toys and donations, and they will continue to collect them for about the next 2 weeks. Also, if you're a family looking for gifts, those applications are available from now until December 4th. The local chapter says last year they received about 45,000 toys, and they distributed those to 20,000 kids.
It means a lot to me to be able to help these kids have a Christmas that they deserve, because every kid deserves a good Christmas. This year we're a little bit down on our donations. However, we still do have 2 weeks left, and we still have a lot of drop boxes out within Austin. We have over 200 drop sites within the 8 counties that we cover.
Organizers tell us that the 13 to 14-year-old range, as well as newborn to 2-year-olds, are really the biggest needs right now. So if you'd like to help, we've got a link to our website that will give you some more details and has locations of where you can go drop off some of those toys. I know everybody's starting to make their Christmas lists, and it's super important not to forget about things like Toys for Tots this time of year, because it's not always easy for everybody.
Yeah, they said they helped 20,000 kids each year. That's incredible.
That number is pretty wild. So yeah, there's still time, 2 weeks left on those donations.
Definitely. All right, we're going to move on now. We're going to look at what we're experiencing across Central Texas, and that was rainfall. A majority of that now out towards the eastern counties. We still have a couple more showers here and there for the downtown area, but overall looks like a majority of it now moving out towards the east. You get into Bastrop, getting out towards Giddings, getting out towards Caldwell, getting down towards LaGrange. That's where we see some of the moderate to heavier showers that have continued. In fact, I have a live look out of our Ewald Kubota camera out there in Georgetown. So most of those clouds on their way out. We're looking at mostly sunny skies taking over, and that should continue throughout most of the afternoon into the evening hours. Current temperatures back up to 72 degrees in Fredericksburg, but Marble Falls still at 70, Austin at 62, and then you look out towards where the front is, 58 in Bastrop and Giddings with LaGrange at 59 degrees. Your after-school temperatures are expected to at least move up to around 78 degrees with the sunny skies continuing, and then expected to move at least to about 80 as a maximum temperature of what we could hit overall. So the front heading out, I don't expect that to be an issue whatsoever. It'll continue moving through, clear skies left for the rest of the evening tonight into tomorrow morning, and then another front expected to arrive. That front bringing with it some cooler air, which will definitely see a drop in the temperatures, especially as we get out towards Thursday morning. So tomorrow morning 50s, Wednesday upper 40s, Thursday low 40s, maybe even 30s, and I'll show you that in just a moment. So behind this front is just nothing but dry, clear air that will continue to push through. It's this next front that brings with it. And notice where the directions of where the fronts were coming. The first one more coming in from the west to the east compared to this one, which is more of that north to southward trend, bringing in much colder air that's going to settle into most of the state itself. By Thursday morning, we're looking at temperatures getting very close to freezing. In Fredericksburg, 34 degrees. The same out towards Llano, San Saba around 36, Burnett at around 37, with Austin and Dripping Springs at 41 degrees with a few more 30s as you get out towards the eastern counties. So look at 7-day forecast. 81, 81, 69 degrees is a high for Wednesday. And then Wednesday into Thursday, that's where we're going to see the coldest temperatures, down to 41 degrees Thursday morning. 74 is a high on Thursday. By Friday itself, 76 degrees. Saturday, 77. And by Sunday, we're looking at possibly creeping back up into the 80s one more time.
The countdown is on, not only until the holidays, but also to pay your local property tax bill. January 31st is the last day to pay those without getting hit with penalties or interest charges.
And today we're joined by someone who works with clients big and small to lower how much they owe. Richie Gill is the founder of Gill, Denson & Company, which is a property tax consulting firm here in the area. Richie, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Will. Thank you, Avery. I'm happy to spend a few minutes answering your questions and helping local Austin residents figure out this confusing property tax topic.
Yeah, it can be a whole lot. So just to kind of reiterate what you all do at your firm, you focus on the protest process of lowering how much people pay for their property taxes. For someone who's unable to afford those kinds of services, though, and wants to challenge how much they owe, can you talk about where they should start? Sure. What is the first moments they should look into?
Yeah, so there's two main ways that property tax owners can help control their property tax bill. One is exemptions. So it's very important you apply for and get approved for all available exemptions. So for most people, it's a homestead exemption. For older property owners, it could be a 65 and older exemption. For people that used to serve in the military that are now disabled, there's a disabled veterans exemption. So there's a bunch of different exemptions available in Texas that people need to take advantage of in order to save on their property tax bill. That's built into state law, so everyone should be using that no matter what. And you'll be surprised, there's a lot of property tax owners that pay their property tax bill year after year, never making sure that they've actually gotten all the benefit that they are owed. And so that's the first way to control your property tax bill. The second important way is to protest your property taxes. You can either do it on your own or hire a professional firm like our own. And so when you're doing that, what you're doing is trying to get a fair value for your property. And so every year the county goes through and assigns a value to every property in the county. And if you think about Travis County, there's a lot of properties.
Oh, yes.
And so it's a big task. And so when the county does that, there's plenty of room for error because they have a small staff trying to assign values to a lot of properties. And so when they do that, they could get your value wrong. Maybe they missed something about the condition of your property. Maybe they missed a recent sales comp in the area that brought the value down. You're overpaying your taxes because of that. So all of that's very important to protest and make sure you get a fair valuation on your property taxes.
We know you've been busy with those protest hearings, and right now people's bills are starting to come in the mail. So if they've gotten their bill, or maybe they are on the lookout for it, checking the mail, when do you recommend people pay those? We mentioned the deadline was January 31st. So do you recommend people pay that bill right when they get it, or is there a best time to make sure that gets paid?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the first thing when you get the bill is make sure it looks accurate. Make sure it's the bill for your address, your name. Make sure any exemptions are applied on that property tax bill. Once you've done that, you can feel free to pay any time before the January 31st deadline. There's not, in my world of property taxes, there's not really a reason to pay immediately or later. I know if you are itemizing your taxes for the IRS for a federal tax return, there could be some differences there. I would talk to a CPA if that is a concern to you, but otherwise, make sure the information's accurate. After that, you can pay any time as long as it's before January 31st.
Okay, yeah, that is the key deadline to remember for everybody out there. So, you know, your firm has been working these past few months on hearings for other property tax payments for your clients in particular. So, is there anything that has been different about that process this year compared to years past?
Yeah, so going into the 2024 property tax protest season, Travis County actually lowered a lot of people's tax appraisals because they had some data that suggested values had come down. So in 2024, when we're protesting taxes, we're protesting the value as of January 1st, 2024, which can use sales comps up to 12 months before that date. So it's kind of a long window that we're looking at. Yeah. And so we did see a lot of people's taxes come down when the notices were issued in the spring. And then when we protested, almost 80% of our clients got some kind of reduction during the protest process. We found a lot of really strong evidence to help get a reduction for a majority of our clients in Travis County. So we thought it was a very productive year.
So when we talk about property taxes, something that has been in the headlines and probably on a lot of people's minds have been recent things that passed. I know Central Texas voters passed a few different propositions during the last election. One of those for folks who live within Austin Independent School District, another one for all of Travis County to increase some child care options. But we know that'll have an impact on people's bills. So when will we start seeing that impact? And what do experts like yourself think will be the impact for people here in Central Texas?
Yeah, so great question. And this is going to affect a lot of people in the Austin area. So Austin ISD passed Proposition A. The voters approved that. And so what that means for property taxpayers, property owners in our school district, is there's going to be a modest increase in how much they're paying. So the tax rate will increase about 9 cents for every $100 of value. And so depending on the size of your property, the average property owner will pay about $400 more because of that proposition. And so if you have a larger property, more valuable, you may pay a little bit more. If it's smaller, you may pay a little bit less. Now, one thing to note about that, if you're 65 and older, you won't see that tax increase come through. So you will see a little bit of an increase, though, because of that Proposition A.
Hopefully that gives some people some clarity out there. But Richie Gill, thank you again for joining us here this afternoon. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, everybody, we will see you after this break. Stay with us.
In-depth, investigative. This is KXAN News at Noon.
Welcome back, everyone. Today, the State Board of Education will decide if state-approved textbooks meant for kindergarten through 5th grade public schools will feature stories from the Bible.
You may remember back in September, the State Board listened to hours of testimony from parents and groups who both opposed and supported the use of biblical stories. The Texas Education Agency even amended its curriculum following that hearing.
KXAN's Dylan McKim is joining us now live here in studio. And Dylan, even with those changes, some people are still upset.
Yeah, critics said that the changes, there were some good changes that the TEA released, but even with those, they still think this proposed curriculum is more appropriate for Sunday school and not public schools. Now, Texas Freedom Network, a grassroots organization in Texas that opposes this curriculum, wrote an analysis on the updated version. It argues Christianity is elevated more than other world religions and says there are detailed Bible lessons in this curriculum that are unwarranted and unnecessary. The group believes there is a better way to incorporate religion into public school lessons.
You know, we do think that the Bible in some cases has been an important context for American history, and that overall religious teachings in school, when they are taught unbiased, and presented in a way that doesn't put one religion over the other, is totally appropriate to give children context.
And there are two sides to this issue, of course. I spoke with Texas Values, a conservative advocacy group. They believe biblical texts will help increase reading comprehension, and it argues some of the lessons in the textbook need context for students to fully understand what's happening. For example, there's a lesson on Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s letters from Birmingham jail that feature biblical characters. The group believes students would need that extra context to fully understand.
This is not a religious curriculum where we're studying world religions, and it's not a history class where we're studying history. It's a class that is English language arts, and anytime that there is a reference, which there are several references throughout literature where the Bible is references, they go at liberty to explain those and include those texts for students.
Now, if the curriculum is approved, it does not mean it would be taught in all public schools. That would be up to the individual school districts to decide, but there would be a financial incentive to use the state-approved curriculum, up to $60 per student. Dylan McKim, KXAN News.
First warning weather.
Dylan, thank you again. Checking out live right now, and we are looking west from our Austonian camera in downtown Austin. You can see those clouds have cleared there, and the blue sky is popping back out, Avery.
I know it was kind of a nice little rainy morning there, but we're back to our beautiful sunny skies. Freddie Vela has been tracking all of it for us. Freddie, where are we at now?
We are looking at the front, pushing all the way through, nice and fresh, a big drop in temperatures. But if you're looking out towards the eastern counties, a bit of a change there for them as we continue to see some of the showers moving through. In fact, let's zoom into this one spot, because this is where we've seen the most amount of rainfall over the past hour. The showers that were moving through downtown now gone. We see some now moving into the Lockhart Bastrop area. A few more showers out towards Giddings, getting up towards Rockdale, and then down towards LaGrange, and that's it. That's the extent of the rainfall we're going to have for today. None of it became severe, which is great news. As you can see, we get down towards Lockhart itself, and most of that now out towards the eastern part of the county itself. And continuing out, we move up towards Cameron and Rockdale, down towards Lexington and Giddings. That should move into Caldwell County, and then pretty much out overall. A beautiful image so far. Your hiking forecast showing that it's still going to be a nice day throughout the day itself. 74 75, excuse me, by 1 p.m. By 3 p.m., we're looking at about 78 degrees. And by 7 p.m., 77. And by 7 p.m., we should be back down to about 67 degrees. Just know that if you go hiking or walking, you may run into some mud and, of course, some slippery conditions. So the showers pretty much on their way out, and then we're going to be left with clearer skies. The sunny skies are going to stick with us, but the cooler mornings, that's what we're excited about. I'm going to tell you how cold it'll be. Plus, we're going to go in depth on hurricane season because it's not over yet. I'll give you a bit more information on what we've seen and what to expect coming up.
Freddie, thank you so much. President-elect Donald Trump is gearing up to name more cabinet selections this week.
As Rashad Hudson now tells us, it all comes as some members of Congress are questioning whether some of his previous choices can get past the Senate confirmation process.
Lawmakers on Capitol Hill are lining up to condemn or defend many of President-elect Trump's cabinet picks, setting up a major fight on Capitol Hill. President-elect Donald Trump may have been front row at a UFC event over the weekend, but the real fight for him is on Capitol Hill over some of his controversial cabinet picks.
They are persons who will shake up the status quo.
Former Congressman Matt Gaetz, Trump's choice for Attorney General, is facing backlash. Gaetz resigned 2 days before a scathing House ethics report about him was set to be released. California Democratic Senator-elect Adam Schiff says the report should be released.
There's credible allegations he was involved in child sex trafficking.
House Speaker Mike Johnson says releasing the report would open Pandora's box.
The House Ethics Committee's jurisdiction does not extend to non-members of Congress.
Another pick facing scrutiny is Army National Guard veteran and Fox News host Pete Hegseth, nominated by Trump to lead the Department of Defense.
There is deep concern, but also a deep opportunity to sort of make sure we are putting only qualified people in these jobs.
He's a major, and he fits the role of Secretary of Defense.
And there's still a number of key cabinet positions that Trump has yet to announce. We expect to hear more names this week. Reporting in Washington, Rashad Hudson, back to you.
Rashad, thank you. President-elect Trump wants oil and gas industry executive Chris Wright to lead the Department of Energy. Wright founded Liberty Energy, which is based in Denver. He's expected to support Trump's plan to maximize production of oil and gas. If confirmed by the Senate, Wright will replace Jennifer Granholm. The Department of Energy handles U.S. energy diplomacy, administers the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, and runs some grant and loan programs to advance energy technologies. The secretary also oversees the U.S. nuclear weapons complex and nuclear energy waste disposal.
The transition team for President-elect Trump is considering the creation of a commission to investigate the 2021 withdrawal from Afghanistan. That's according to one U.S. official and another person familiar with that plan. The team is compiling a list of senior, current, and former American military officers directly involved in that withdrawal. However, it is unclear what would legally justify treason charges, as the military officers were following the orders of President Biden.
The chief spokesman for Hezbollah is dead. It follows an Israeli strike on a building in Lebanon on Sunday. It happened in a very densely populated area of Beirut. This all comes as Lebanon considers a U.S.-led ceasefire proposal. Lebanon's health ministry says the strike killed 4 people total. It hurt another 14, including 2 children. A second strike hit a computer shop, killing 2 people and injuring at least 22 others.
Someone recently hacked the email systems at the Library of Congress. That's according to a notification sent to some congressional offices. The notification says information in emails from January to September was compromised. At this point, it's unclear who hacked the library, though an investigation is ongoing. The library says it's taken measures to prevent these incidents in the future. Digging deeper now, last year the library recorded more than 178 million items in its collection. That include everything from more than 25 million books, more than 78 million manuscripts, nearly 6 million maps, and more than 8 million items of sheet music.
Some people in the Latino and LGBTQ communities are getting offensive text messages. This is similar to those sent to the Black community earlier this month. The FBI says these messages tell people they are selected for deportation or should report to re-education camps. Students who go to Austin ISD have also received some similar messages. The person or people behind these texts remain unknown. Another update for you. Parents in Pflugerville have a bit of peace of mind today. The school district says its original report that a student there had measles was incorrect. Pflugerville now says the Winmere Elementary School parent incorrectly reported the case to the school nurse. The district says the staff reported that case to Austin Public Health, but APH determined that the child did not have measles. The district says it will review its policies to avoid repeating this incident. Today, the Red River Cultural District spoke on the new funding package it received from the city of Austin.
This all comes after the city council approved money last week to help out the district keep around its Free Week. That's an annual festival with music and events. Business owners and artists alike spoke up about how this funding package will help the Red River Cultural District remain as a pillar of live music and the arts community in Austin, as well as maintaining its renowned tourism destination.
This sustainable funding granted by Council represents exactly that type of investment and will lead the way in demonstrating Austin's care and commitment to its music culture.
Organizers have more plans for this funding package as well. They plan to use part of the money to invest in 2 free music festivals next year, as well as take part in a cultural project that will tell the music history and the heritage of the district.
And a reminder here that you play a key role in a friendly competition between the KXAN evening and morning team. This is our annual Friendsgiving Challenge, and both of these teams are duking it out to raise the most money for the Central Texas Food Bank. We want to give you a little rundown of how your donations help. For every $1 that's raised, the food bank can provide 3 meals. 40% of what the food bank distributes is actually fresh produce, and they serve about 90,000 people a week. Pretty incredible statistics there. We've made it super easy for you to donate. Just take out your phone, do it with us, scan the QR code right there on your screen, and you can donate. You can pick your team. It's getting very competitive, and this year's goal, they are trying to raise between both teams $150,000. And just think about, with the statistics we laid out, how many families here in Central Texas that money could raise and help. I mean, the money goes a long way. I think 3 meals for every $1 is pretty incredible stuff.
That is huge reach, and so many people have given, and we want to say thank you to everybody who's done that so far. We get notifications about that, and so many generous people out there who are helping.
Yeah.
The last I heard, the evening team is ahead.
They're pulling away.
I checked last night, and they were ahead pretty far. So I don't know. It's a tight competition regardless.
We'll see how that goes. And we're also going to see how the day itself is going to go, because now we're seeing sunny skies. Take a look out of our Whittlesey Landscape Supplies camera at Granite Shoals. What a difference from just hours ago, where it was cloudy, it was rainy, or drizzling in your neck of the woods. It was a bit cold, and now we're seeing sunnier skies. We're seeing things warm up. A huge change. It is a bit breezy outside. Just a reminder, 7-day forecast showing that we'll stay at around 81 degrees for today and tomorrow, 69 for Wednesday. But Thursday morning is going to be one to watch, as we could see the coldest temperatures in months as we drop down into the 30s, very close to 32 degrees. So I'll keep watching that.
Very close watch on that. All right, everybody, thanks for watching here on KXAN News at Noon. We'll see you back here in 30 minutes with another update. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. Take care.